action. You're listening to Squatch Talks Podcast. Real stories and real encounters told by real researchers. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey, welcome back to Squatch Talks Podcast.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Better and better. Hey, just wanted to thank all of our followers who have stuck with us, and for the new ones who recently subbed. And you haven't already, hit that like button and sub, and we appreciate you. And if you don't mind, share us with your friends, and that really helps support the channel. So we want to thank our friends at the Yeti Lair. Also, let's just get some business out of the way, don't mind, right?
No.
But the Yeti Lair for all their fine products, including the Squatch Talks Podcast Yeti Bar.
I'm really excited for the body wash.
And the new body wash. I was just about to let people know about.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to try that as well. So go to STP, yeah. Go to YetiBars.net and use code STP10 at checkout. And how much for free shipping, Heather?
$75.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, it's not hard to do. And I typically get free shipping when I order. So yeah, we're really happy the guys are doing well out in New Mexico, producing those fine products all by hand and in small batches. So hey, it could take a few days to get your order out, so be patient, okay? And tonight we're kind of doing again a little bit of the new format, not necessarily format, but a little new technique where we're going to talk about the intro and kind of describe what's going on. And then I'm going to put some audio and some video that I recorded with a witness, okay? But first, just going to go over some of our events that we took place over the holiday weekend, right? We mentioned going to a camping outing, but first we went to Philadelphia. What we see?
Fireworks.
Yeah, pretty good ones.
Yeah,
too.
they were really, really nice.
Awesome fireworks.
And then we had a lovely time camping.
Oh yeah, we went to the woods and we had a great campsite, and right next to a potential base camp for a future Squatch Talks podcast.
Oh, it's squatchy.
Expedition.
Yeah, it was really squatchy there.
Really squatchy. And it's right on water.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the water on the one side, we got a lake across the street, and nothing but woods and forest. So I'm feeling really good about it as a future.
And there was some ticks there this time.
None.
I didn't have a single one.
No, I had one tick on me and I put them into the fire.
Those chicks and tickers.
Oh, chiggers and ticks. Wait a minute. Figures and chicks. That's what I say. So yeah, we had a great time. We had Regina and Ken come out and grill with us one night, right?
Yep.
That was fun. And Regina brought her ambrosia that everybody enjoyed on our expedition in the Pine Barrens.
We really got to make s'mores.
And we got to make s'mores. The fire band was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to enjoy the campfire. Also, we had a couple of rumbles of thunder come through. You might have seen the short that I produced with Heather that night. But no rain. I mean, a little drizzle, and that was it. So we really had great weather. We did some tubing on the river,
yep.
Right? Did your first tubing experience there. It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And what else? Anything else exciting? I think that's pretty much it. We had a good time camping.
Nice time, yeah.
Didn't have to lug all the crap. I went back and got more wood and ice, let Heather sleep in, and then made you a nice breakfast,
yeah.
Right? Surprised you.
Then he drove all the way home to go get stuff.
Yeah.
And then he went to the supermarket and came back with food.
Oh yeah. And so that was enjoyable. But I also got a chance to speak with our brothers, Nathan and Brian, over the holiday. So it was good to hear from them. They're doing well. They miss everybody. And then I got to head out with Art and Jacob for another night out.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I had our friend Greg, who's been a customer of mine and a friend that follows our channel. He stops by. He was on his way back from South. What is it called?
Salt Fork.
Salt Fork.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to say
South Fork.
No, South Park. Ohio. On his way back from Ohio, he stops in and says hi. And he was going to go out to a concert with a friend of his, and his friend wasn't feeling well, so he winds up calling me up and saying, "Hey, you're heading out. You mind if I tag along?" So he met up with us, and we went out with Greg. And the four of us had a pretty cool night. Not much in the way of activity, but hey, bad night squatching beats a good day working, right? So as I was saying, you might recall Heather mentioning I'd gotten, a couple of things at Smithville, the coyote skull, and I got the sign that says warning recent Sasquatch sightings in the area, right? And she mentioned that we had a witness who had a what?
She saw one. She had a Class A encounter.
Yeah, it was May 26th, which really was only about 5 miles from here. So the night before they were coming by, Heather and I had gone out to check it out. We had talked to one of their, the people's neighbors at the location, and then the next day, my friend Tom, who's the witness's uncle, came by, and I got to do a follow-up interview with them, and afterwards took them to the location and did a recreation.
It's awesome.
So that's always great, So we're gonna include that footage from the recreation and the interview in this episode, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. You get to hear firsthand from a witness who saw a Bigfoot on her way to work and wasn't expecting it. So stick around. Afterwards, Heather and I will come back and wrap things up.
Enjoy.
So it's 3:22 on June 24th. I'm here at the Squatch Talks podcast headquarters, actually, or NASBRO, we like to call it headquarters, with Melanie and her uncle Tom. Tom, who has been on previous expeditions. And we have the pleasure today of talking with Melanie, who had a encounter last week, an alleged encounter, on New Road in Chemung, right? I guess that's technically Chemung?
Southampton.
Southampton.
Yeah.
There you go. No, you're right.
Vincenttown, Southampton.
Southampton, for sure. So, thank you for coming in and talking with us. I'm excited to hear the story because it's fresh.
Of course.
Yeah. So, what was the date of it? Do you remember?
Honestly, it was probably, it wasn't last week. It had to be around Memorial Day weekend. Okay. Yeah. Maybe less than a month ago.
All right. You remember, the time of the day?
Yeah, so it was about 6:50 in the morning.
I don't want to lead you with questions. I just want to get an idea of date and time.
No problem.
That's one of the more important things.
Get you the exact date if that helps.
It does.
I texted my cousin right away. I'm like, oh.
It does. Memorial Day week would have been the 29th. So Monday was the 29th, Memorial Day. And I thought it was towards the end of the week, like a Friday. See, had we known this, though, at the expedition, we could have gone over and checked it out.
It was May 26th.
May 26th.
I texted Aaron at 6:55 in the morning.
May 26th. Awesome. Okay.
At 6:55 you texted her.
So that was before Memorial Day then, actually.
Yeah, right before.
So May 26th at 6:50 a.m. Wow. So on Friday, it was a Friday. So then we're talking 1, 2, 3, almost a month ago now, right? But anyway, tell me what was going on.
It was quick.
Yeah.
But was driving up New Road going north, and it was about the address that I sent. And it looked like someone or something was walking along the road, like on the white line on the side of the road.
Right.
But it was bright enough that you could tell if someone was wearing jeans and like a t-shirt or something. It was just the same color, head to toe. It was about the size of a person, but just the same color, kind of bigger.
Okay.
And I was close enough, but it's like as soon as whatever it was noticed me coming, it just darted. It
to the left.
Yeah, towards the property
you were
that it's
heading
closest
north.
to. Yeah.
And so it went to the left.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was on the left side of the road, walking on the road line, and then it went to the left. But it
How far away were you from it when you first noticed it, would you say?
Oh, I was pretty close, like maybe just a few seconds away, driving
Okay.
whatever speed it was. But it was close enough to where, as fast as I was going, I would have seen whoever it was running. But the way that it leaped at first, and then as fast as it went, it made no sense to me.
Wow.
Yeah. It
So
was
it
the most
leaped.
bizarre thing. Yeah. Leaped and just took off running. And the tree line there, it was open enough where it's like, oh, like, I wonder what's there. So I kind of sped up, but just gone.
Gone.
Yep.
And
then it's like, if it was a person, I couldn't see someone doing that, and it just didn't make any sense to me, so...
Yeah. And you're saying it was like all uniform in color.
Yes.
Average height, it could have been like just an adult person, you're saying?
Right.
So around 6 feet, maybe?
Yeah, but, like, built
But
bigger.
stockier?
Yes.
Okay.
you remember the color of it? Because you're,
Just dark.
6:50 a.m. It's light out,
Yeah.
so you did
Yep.
have daylight.
Yeah. It was
Dark brown, would you say, or black?
closer to black.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. Wow, that's great.
Mm.
Around 6 footish, we're saying, right?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
But stocky.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were approaching it, heading whatever the speed limit is. I think it's 35, 40 on that
Yeah.
stretch. And you noticed this individual walking along the line
Yep.
on the side of the road on your left,
Yeah.
right, on the driver's side. And you're saying you got pretty close. I would say 3 seconds would be 40 or 50 yards at most.
Right.
Right. And did it turn at all to look at you? Like you said, it kind of realized you were coming, and that's when it took off.
It's almost like it caught my attention because of the color of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like looked closer,
Yeah.
and it's like it saw me coming, and then it just started. If that makes any sense, but
Well, when
it didn't turn to look at me or anything. It just went.
It sensed you were there or
Right.
coming, and it decided to leap, and so that's when it leapt off the side of the road
Yep.
onto the person's yard
Mm-hmm.
and did a beeline into the forest.
Right.
Okay. There's a field across the street, a pasture.
Yeah. Yep.
Which has some pretty flowers growing on it currently.
Yeah.
That's interesting how it leapt, because I always say they leap, and that's how people say
That's so.
they
Oh my
fly or
Yeah.
they don't fly. They do leap, and they can leap. Do you have any idea how far it leapt?
God. I have maybe. Oh, had to be like more than 5 feet.
More than
Like
5
it was
feet, yeah.
not human.
Like it just.
Yeah, it just took off, and that's what got me. I'm like, that wasn't a person.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna say 5 to 10 feet.
Yeah.
Just to be just to be on the mild side, and ran across the yard into the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this all happens within a few seconds.
Exactly. It was so quick. Oh my gosh.
You probably didn't have your coffee yet that morning.
Nope.
That's awesome. And after you went by, you're thinking to yourself, "What the heck did I just see?"
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So is that when you texted?
Yeah.
Was
Right
this a
away. I got
family
to the
member?
next light, the red light. I'm like, Aaron, it happened. I'm like, I'm out here, and it finally happened. I think. But yeah.
What did you think happened?
I was like, I think I just saw Bigfoot or something. Like, I don't even know. It
Is
didn't
Erin-
make sense. She's my cousin.
Your cousin?
His daughter. Yeah.
They're close.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's your daughter, Erin.
Mhm.
And so you've spoken to her about this possibly happening in the past?
Oh yeah. She was so excited when I moved out here.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't realize Erin was into
Well, they're
what you do.
close.
I know.
Mhm.
But did you know Erin was a fan? I mean, of the topic?
I'm not sure if she is a fan of Bigfoot.
I think she's open to anything. So as soon as you started to
She
talk to
never
her
really-
about it, she opened up a lot.
Or more paranormal also? I mean,
Yeah. Oh
just
yeah. She's
cryptid
open
type
to a
stuff.
lot.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Surprise.
Hey, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
My kids at least humor me.
But my daughter did tell me that day. Oh, by
Yeah,
the way.
well, she found out right away from
Actually,
Melanie.
she might have told me a couple of days later or something.
Yeah.
And I said,
maybe.
when did that? And she said, Friday, a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Do you spell your name Melonie?
A-N.
A-N-I-E.
Mhm.
That's Melanie, right. Okay. Now, you're across the street, though, from
Right.
the houses that butt up against the woods.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anything living there?
No. But I'm actually starting to get closer to my neighbor that's across the street that is against the
Okay.
woods there. So I'm curious to hear what he has to say.
So, the reason I'm asking that, because you're exactly a mile
Mm-hmm.
from where the crossing took place. I was going to ask you, want to go after I close and recreate it, but I don't know what your plans are this afternoon.
No plans. I have 2 little ones at home that I can
What do you
take
think?
for
You want to go check it out? I mean, I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
But, so Heather and I went there to check out the area yesterday, and again, I can tell totally.
Yeah.
I can tell you complete confidence that there's no reason why what you saw could not have been
Thank
a
you,
Bigfoot.
Because I felt a little crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, again, and at first, when I told you, the young man was out walking around in his front yard.
Yeah.
He had long hair and, kind of average height. I was thinking to myself, oh, possibly he was out walking on the road. Kid has some, I think, mental challenges.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. He was just kind of like walking around,
Yeah.
but wouldn't have left, wouldn't have run off across, the yard into the
Yeah.
woods. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one reason. But, and when Heather said, "Oh, can I jump out and take pictures of the flowers?" I said, "Sure." So I pulled over, she's taking pictures of the pasture and the
Yeah.
flowers by the fence, and I'm backing up to say, hey, can I ask you something to the young man?
Yeah.
He ignored me. But I see in my rear view another guy across the street leaning on his mailbox checking me out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do? I pick up Heather. I turn around in their drive and I go back to the guy, and he's then starting to go, and I say, hey, excuse me. I said, can I ask you a question? He comes over. I'm pulled over on the road, literally blocking the right lane of traffic. I said, have you had any strange activity around here at all lately? Have you seen anything strange? And Heather goes, besides us.
Yeah.
So his name is John, and he's the neighbor who lives right across the street.
Oh, wow.
He raises goats and chickens. And I said, well, have you had any of your animals go missing? He said, coyotes, the fox. He says the fox
Yep.
have taken a hen here or there. People naturally assume that it's a fox or a coyote that's doing this. When, again, I don't know all the facts surrounding it. If the goat's gone, it could be a Bigfoot, because Bigfoot will just take it home and be like, here, I got a pet.
Yeah.
A fox typically is going to kill whatever it is on the location, you know what I mean, and leave evidence
It's
of
like the
that.
type of mess it leaves,
Right.
right?
He said
Exactly.
it went missing. Huh?
He did, yeah. And so he just naturally, but of course, listen, I said, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I said, have you ever, he goes, oh, no. I said, I've watched those shows. I said, what, Finding Bigfoot? He goes, yeah. I said, well, she and I have been on it a couple of times. I said, so you might have seen us, and forget the whole conversation. Basically, I was asking him questions, and he found it interesting that there possibly was a Bigfoot on his block.
Yeah.
So I gave him my
wow.
card, and I said, if you do see anything, let me know.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
But he did tell me a little bit about the neighbors
Yeah.
and about them also raising pigeons,
Mm-hmm.
and they raise ducks.
Oh, wow.
So there is some local food source available to maybe
yeah.
a Bigfoot family that potentially needs a meal, and they're opportunists. They'll eat food that's left out for their, for other people's animals and pets.
Mm-hmm.
Gifting.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even gifting. I mean, I'm saying this is
okay.
just them taking advantage of people who leave out food for wild animals.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
do
Like
what you gotta do.
birds or whatever, bird food. And if people are raising animals like chickens or ducks or whatever, there is that possibility that they're going to
Oh, yeah.
make use of that,
Smart. Makes sense.
So I brought it up on Google Earth, and I showed you yesterday.
You showed me that mine.
And we did like a line, just a direct line from as the crow flies from where you live to where you had the sighting. It's almost exactly a mile. It's like 0.97.
Oh, my gosh.
So, and again, I don't say this to scare you in any way,
Oh, no.
because they're not out to harm people. You
They're
know,
not. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would consider yourself to be in the club of people. I would say Bobo would say to you, hey, welcome to the club. I think you saw a Squatch.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Well, thank you.
And go like this, hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah, thank you.
I had to tell him that when we were doing my interview.
Yeah.
Like, Bobes, this is the part where you say, hey, I think you saw a Squatch.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't on his A game that day. But
And then I'm so curious about like the noises
Mhm.
that they would make or something, because being out there at night,
Sure.
me and my husband will go out late at night or something, sit outside, but we hear some bizarre stuff. And I know there's raccoons, there's foxes, coyotes, everything around there, but
yeah,
frogs, I don't know.
okay.
But I'm curious to know.
Well, there are vocalizations that they do aside from what you've probably seen, like wood knocks and things like that, which in New Jersey don't sound as impressive as they do in other parts of the country.
We
Okay.
don't have that many oak trees around.
Yeah, I mean, the cedar trees do give a good sound if there's a cedar swamp in the area, but
Yeah.
that's how a New Jersey knock sounds.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing to write home about,
Yeah.
but it's a sound you may hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops and vocalizations, screams, howls. Those are things that
The screams
people
stick
report.
out to me, but-
Yeah, and the screams could be a vixen fox.
Yeah.
That's very common in this area, but most people can differentiate the difference between a fox because of the volume
Yeah.
attached to it. Like when a squatch makes a sound like that, there's like, you can feel it in your chest,
Okay. That
as
makes
opposed to a fox or
Yeah, like
another
just hearing it in
animal.
the distance
You know what I
or
mean? So yeah, vocalizations are generally going to be, I don't know, in New Jersey, I would say more whoops
Okay.
and howls type than screams necessarily.
Okay.
But no, I've heard screams too.
Mm-hmm.
But they generally have a pattern.
Okay.
Like a higher pitched scream, it'll go on for 3 to 5 seconds and then stop, almost like a siren, right? And then it'll stop and then start back up again, and this will go on maybe a dozen times.
Okay.
So that's possibly a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say for sure unless you see him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like your encounter, like mine, it happens like that.
Instantly.
I had one run out in front of me from the right to the left, and like look at us like, oh my god, like oh shit, you know, I can't believe I
Yeah.
ran out in front of a car.
Very
I think
full on.
I think it's like a rite of passage though for the juveniles, honestly. I do. I think that's one way they get, you know,
Okay.
elevated in the
Yeah.
clan.
Adulthood.
Exactly. But this thing ran out in front of us, and it really happened so fast.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have really much time to react.
Mm-mm.
And at that point, I didn't have a dash cam on my car. You know,
Of course.
of course.
I know.
Well, now I always
Yeah.
say because I do. Of course, it's never going to happen again because
Yeah.
I'm filming.
I know.
But I mean, where you had yours is definitely a place I can see it because I looked at the Google Earth and there's like forest on both sides.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had witnesses from country lakes, presidential lakes.
And they're right there too.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And another few miles up the road from it's St. Mary's Road,
Mm-hmm.
but that one made big news
Oh wow.
back in 2018. That was a follow-up I did, and Fox came here and interviewed me and stuff. Fox News came.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that in the BFRO?
No, yeah, that's the report that if you click on, I think he even has it on my New Jersey expedition. That if you click on it, it takes you. But yeah, it takes you to that
I showed you that
report.
site.
Yeah.
Might wanna start
Yeah.
Checking
I'm
that
gonna
out.
have to check.
That's
that
how
out.
I got
Very
started.
cool.
Honestly, I just started looking at the websites, the reports that came in
Yeah.
that they published. And before I became an investigator, I would try to figure out where these, because they don't give exact locations usually.
Yeah.
I would guess where it would be, and that's how I got started. By
Yeah.
going and looking at areas where the report occurred,
Mm-hmm.
and then after I became an investigator, I was able to see where I was like, hey, I was pretty darn close, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know. But Mike Aragona, Big Mike we call him, he's the one who sponsored me to the BFRO. In fact, I sponsored Jacob. He's been on my episodes lately. Yeah, he's been really putting in the work and expressed the desire to become an investigator. So we'll see.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he'd be good for it. He's enthusiastic, young blood.
Yeah.
We need to get that next generation of
That's it,
investigators. You know, we're getting too old for this. But not quite. I mean,
I disagree.
I
we have
agree.
fun. I was hoping that if you had a few minutes and wanted to hang around, we could go take a ride over.
Absolutely.
You have to go that way to go home anyway,
Yep.
right?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
in no hurry.
And you're not in a hurry?
Not at all.
I mean, like I would love to do is do a recreation,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So what that would involve is like driving over to that area, we'll park the cars,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll get in the car with you and you drive with me
Yeah.
and tell me you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just kind of give me narration
Okay.
as we're going up the road, and then you could be at the
Bigfoot.
end there. You could be Bigfoot. I
There
don't want
go.
you to leap.
Not that
What
far.
do you think? You want to do that?
Sounds good to me.
Would that be
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
Would you be okay with me filming it also?
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Squatch Talks, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. There you go.
But no, that would be fun, and I do have my camera ready to go, and the audio. That's how I did it with Mike. The last guy who had a recent sighting was June
Yeah.
19th,
Oh wow.
but it was 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So that was again a very recent sighting.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So like it's really cool to get with somebody, especially a recent encounter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it.
That makes it better when you have fresh
Yeah.
in the person's mind.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go hiking behind your house now.
I know.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said to your uncle, I said, listen, don't ask her anything. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
texting because
Yeah.
I wanted to hear it from you
Mm-hmm.
and not lead the witness with
Oh yeah.
specific
And
questions.
it's still
you know?
fresh right there. So.
Yeah, and that's the-
I will never forget that.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing.
What did your husband say when you told him?
I only told him recently because I was like, he's gonna think I'm nuts. I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
But sure? Are you sure? Like it wasn't a person? I'm like, no one looks like that. So
Mhm.
no one does stuff like that.
But Erin right away was like thrilled.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh my gosh, call me right away!" Yeah. Oh yeah,
While
she
you're out
was
with the
excited.
customer, because you heard me say I didn't know my daughter was in that. She says she's in the aliens too, and I didn't know that. I'm gonna start talking to my daughter now.
There you go.
Well,
Bring 'em up.
something that you guys can do together now that you're
Yeah.
retired.
Mhm.
Spend some time together.
All these young kids got.
Oh,
they
she'll
got
go out there and lay in a
families
field
and
with
kids,
you and
so
look out. Oh yeah.
they're so
So-
busy.
So yeah, I'm here with Melanie, and we are driving down the road that she was on May 26th, and we are just taking a leisurely stroll up this block on our way to work. And I have to radio Tom to let him know. Yeah, you do about 35. We are on our way, Tom. You can start walking now. And she was just driving, right, Melanie?
Oh yeah, just driving and right about here.
Right about
Whatever
here.
it was, took off, leaped right into those bushes and down that tree line.
Wow. And you said it was like dark blackish hair, right?
Yes, from head to toe. There
And it
was
left
no
about
other color to it.
10 feet, uniform in color. Since it was walking towards you, though, could you see any features whatsoever?
No, it was more of a silhouette,
Okay.
but it was light enough out that you would be able to distinct different colored clothing or something, but from
There
head
was-
to toe, it was just
So
exactly
obviously
the same
no
color.
clothing,
Right.
and it just kind of like noticed you
Stopped me
approaching,
and- yeah,
and then it leaped about 10 feet into those two trees
right.
and ran across the yard into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, and then it just disappeared. I was close enough to see where it would have run off to because it was open enough. No, but I was happy to hear that. I don't know, I felt crazy seeing that.
Right.
And I was like, but if it was a person, like, why would they just take off running and why wouldn't I be able to see? It just didn't, nothing about it made sense.
Didn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
And you weren't like set out to go find a Bigfoot. You were just going to work.
Just going to work.
So nothing that you would normally be, thinking about even in general.
Right.
So that's what makes this even better. Is
Yeah, and the color is what caught me off. It's just that full darkness. I don't know, that's what caught my attention.
and like you can see Tom from here. He's about my height, about 5'6", 5'7". So Heather, that was an exciting follow-up.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and Melanie's a great witness. She really recalled the details pretty clearly.
She's extremely credible.
Oh,
I mean,
no doubt.
she was not expecting to see what she saw.
And how funny is it that, the first person she reaches out to is Tom's daughter, Erin. Well, it finally happened. I saw a Bigfoot.
I saw one.
She was excited. And it's another thing is she lives really close to that area where I'm really just under a mile
Right.
from where she had the encounter is where her home is. So this thing could actually be
Your
going back and
backyard.
forth. Yeah. Well, in her front yard. She actually doesn't back up to the woods. She mentioned she's befriending the neighbor who does back up to the woods. So hopefully she'll hear from them.
There you go.
If they had anything to report. And I got to explain to her some of the things to look out for and what to, kind of listen up for. So that was good. But yeah, it's always great to get out there right after an encounter with somebody and it's fresh in their minds. And, I don't care if it's the night before, honestly. I mean, things really, deteriorate quite quickly. We've had that experience where we got to follow up with the witnesses the next day and weren't able to find any tracks.
No.
Tom and I did look for tracks where this thing would have supposedly have, leaped off the road. I didn't find anything in the ground to indicate that something heavy had, left any impressions. But, where she had this encounter, it's nothing but forest. There's adequate food source, water source, and ground cover. Everything a 8.5 foot tall or however tall primate would need.
They got chickens and guinea hens,
Goats,
and goats, and
ducks.
I mean,
yeah.
it's a whole feast.
Well, John, the neighbor, actually said it was kind of like a deliverance across the street. So I didn't know if maybe she had just seen Travis that morning.
No, not what she saw.
But no, she seemed like she was pretty excited by it. She waited to tell her husband about it. She thought he would think she was cuckoo. But
I mean, in this area, especially, there's so many sightings and witness reports that come out of this area.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
not everybody is going to go report it or write it down somewhere. Some people just keep that shit to themselves, basically, and you
live
know,
with the PTSD of it too.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
people see things all the time. They just don't tell anybody about it. You know what I mean? So the ones that do come forward, that's what we're here for, is to have a place, an outlet for these people to, you know, let that out and talk about their experiences, you
Good
know.
point. And where should they go to report a sighting?
NASBRO.net.
That's
And
good.
our email address is squatchtalkspodcast@gmail.com.
Squatch Talks Podcast.
Yes, feel free to leave us even positive or negative feedback is always welcome too. Like, just let us know what your thoughts are, and if you want us to do stuff or if there's things that you'd like to see in the future, we're happy to get that from you guys.
Or if you don't, if you don't feel comfortable submitting it to our database, you can go to bfro.net as well. And, still, I think one of the world's largest organizations who conducts this research scientifically. I was reading something today about, I won't name any channel names, but they were doing a little critique about the BFRO and saying it was in decline. I would say I would agree with some of the things that were said as far as that it hasn't really had many updates to the website or anything recently.
Well, didn't I just recently mention that to you as well? I think that if the interface is off or something on their website, they need to tweak it.
Yeah, and some of the things could be updated
Yeah.
for sure. And there's certain links that are broken and whatever, and there's not as many new reports being posted. These were some of the the criticisms this individual was making. But they also went on to, in a follow-up video, make some criticisms of Steve from How to Hunt,
Well, we're not naming any names.
Not that I'm naming any names, but I'm just saying there was some things that were mentioned about that channel as well. But I was reading some of the comments, and here's where I was going with that. We were talking about, people living with sometimes their encounter without talking about it.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of comments being made about how these channels offer them a place where they can go and feel comfortable, talking about it and not being ridiculed, right? And that's us.
That's exactly what we're here
That's
for.
what we're talking about. So, hey, if you have an encounter you'd like to share with us, again, go to our email,
squatchtalkspodcast@gmail.com.
and submit the report if you'd like at NASBRO.net, and we'll follow up with you just like we did with Melanie. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can remain anonymous if you choose to. That's cool also. All right. But yeah, I also want to thank our new sponsor, Caveman Coffee Company. And I'm enjoying a cold brew nitro, rich in caffeine, but 0 sugar. So
I just have my bubbly stick to
she's so bubbly. But I had to ditch the Black Rifle coffee because that had like too much sugar in there. That's one of the things. I want to keep
it around.
We got a limit, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, we just want to again thank everybody for sticking and staying, and for the people who are new, welcome. We appreciate you coming on board, and don't forget to share us and like and sub. And if you have anything exciting happen, please be sure to let us know.
Thanks for squatching.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Squatch Talks Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and give us a like, and stay tuned for more exciting stories on Squatch Talks.